up YouTube? This is Albert What's up YouTube? This is Albert Aldridge of albertaldridgefitness.com. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. It's an absolute pleasure having you, and you're joining me today for a mini Q&A session, which is consisting of 3 questions. But thank you to you guys who have contributed. One of them is from a guy called Gary Sawyer, who has a YouTube channel called IGPS Fitness. And then the other one is from Lauren, who lives in Australia. So thank you very much, guys, for contributing. But first of all, I want to go over day 20. I want to say it's day 20 of my lean bulk. So this workout today was bench press as well as chest and triceps. Chest and triceps are probably one of my favourite days, which I always start off the week with, and this is the second session of the week of chest and triceps, but I do my bench press 3 times a week. But usually the middle session on the Wednesday is incline bench press. So today started off with, I decided for some reason to do 7 sets of 5 reps, but unfortunately the first 3 sets were 3 sets of 5, and then sets 4, 5, 6 and 7 turned into 4 reps plus 1 rep, so a bit of a rest pause. And I'm usually I get more and more fatigued towards the end of the week, so it's kind of like at the start, and it just keeps going downwards until by Saturday I'm kind of dragging myself around the gym like, oh. So today didn't feel the best. It was solid. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, if you see what I mean. I felt comfortable under the bar. It was nice. I didn't choose to go to failure with my bench press sets today. It does look like I'd struggle with it, but I felt like I was going to get every rep. And because I'm taking this lean bulk really slow, I've just remembered, it's going to be 4 Q&A, 4 questions. Get in. And one of them is also from a guy called Dino in America, so thank you, man. With this lean bulk, I'm going very slowly, so I'm expecting my strength to increase very slowly as well. So after bench press, I moved on to Smith machine bench bench press, which with you guys who are beginners, who are just getting into the gym, I wouldn't recommend doing Smith machine bench press, just because at the start you have to put your wrists in a flexed position and then move them in order to get the bar off the hooks, because it's on a fixed plane. So if you do choose to use a Smith machine and you're a beginner and a bit uncomfortable with having to unhook it, then just leave it on you can put some safety pins at the bottom. Just put it at the point where it's just above your chest, so you just have to do, just push it off your chest rather than having to unhook it. That's disgusting with my saliva. But those who are more advanced, it's very nice, because you can really control it and only have to think about keeping it, controlling the weight rather than having to stabilise it at the same time. You can get a really good stretch. And for anyone who is lagging with their chest, when you come down, pause at the bottom, think about, right, I want to contract the chest, keep my shoulders back, and then push up, rather than pushing up and likely to concave your shoulders, which is bringing them forward, therefore bring more of the anterior delt. Just think, I'm going to pause at the bottom, pull my shoulder blades back, and then push up. But really try and push the chest up at the same time whilst keeping your hips down, so you can really feel good contraction on the chest. Now, Q&A time. Question 1 was from Lauren in Australia. She asked me about whether front squats or back squats, which one is optimal. Now with this, I recommend you guys experiment with both. With my previous experience, I prefer doing back squats rather than front squats, and the reason for that is I could try doing front squats again, but when I previously did front squats, I found that it didn't overload my legs, plus when I don't have the wrist flexibility or the shoulder mobility yet to get into this position in order to hold the bar, so I have to hold it like this, and I felt my biceps were they had been worked, and it almost felt like they had been strained after I did front squats. I think just because you're having to keep the bar from rolling forward, so you're having to keep your arms up and tensed, and it really did put a lot of strain on the bicep. And my personal opinion is that when you're doing front squats compared to back squats, you may experience more quad engagement, which is the front of the top of the upper leg. just because you're naturally going to be leaning forward slightly more. Even though you're consciously pushing through your heels, you are going to be leaning forward on your toes slightly more. So you might feel a bit more engagement in the quadriceps rather than when you do back squats, and you'll feel a lot more engagement probably in the glutes and the hamstrings. But that's just in my personal experience, but for someone else they might experience a lot of quad engagement when they do back squats. But it's the one that you prefer and enjoy the most, and the one that you're going to stick to is the one that I would recommend. But it's obviously good to try both and try and be consistent for a few weeks just to see if you grow to like it. Question 2, this is also from Lauren in Australia. She said about why does she sometimes see people in the gym doing deadlifts while standing on a plate or a step or something. So that's just when somebody has slightly raised their level from ground level, and we call this deficit deadlifts. And this is really good for somebody who, with the deadlift, they might be lacking, like say for example if they pull the bar normally with a deadlift, it goes very slow at the start and then they're very quick at the lockout period. People do deficit deadlifts in order to improve when they pull the bar off the floor and improve that speed. So it's just more something that powerlifters would do. But also if you're performing a straight-legged deadlift or a Romanian deadlift exercise, then this is really good in order to get a bit of extra range of motion, so you can feel a stretch in the hamstrings, feel them be worked, and then that means the day after you'll definitely get out of bed and not be able to walk because your hamstrings are in so much pain. The time is 6:53, so I just want to try and wrap up this quickly. Questions 3 and 4. Number 3 was from Gary. Gary asked me, am I still cutting? And the answer is no. Anyone who puts the word cutting in my comment section or mentions it in my YouTube channel will be blocked from the YouTube channel. No, I'm just joking. But I'm not cutting anymore. I'm on my lean bulk. 2-3 years to hopefully then compete on stage and cut down for competing in 2019 around May or summertime. I'm aiming for that point, I think. And then question 4 was from Dino in America, and he was asking me, why am I taking this cut really slowly and trying to stay as lean as possible? I just want to see how strong I can get while staying relatively lean, and this obviously makes my life easier when I get to eventually competing in 2019. I won't have to cut so long. Plus I am going to be bulking for 2-3 years, and I don't plan to do a mini cut, so that's why I'm taking it really slowly, trusting the process. So eventually by the time it's like 2.5 years in, if I decide to bulk for 3 years, I am going to be pretty big anyway. Fingers crossed, hopefully. But I hope that clears some of your questions and queries up. If you like this video, do give it a like rating and share this video with anyone who you think will find it helpful, who wants to follow my journey. Please leave a comment in the section below, because I will reply to you, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Albert Aldridge of Albert Aldridge Fitness signing out. It's time to make the best version of you, and I'll see you with my video tonight.